going to happen. So that feels really good. I'm in quite
Next.
I'm in a real good groove right now. I'm feeling good. Manifestations are good.
Want to call it a groove? It's a good name, good word. Or I got a really good vibration going on that I'm pretty good at maintaining. And everything that in my life is reflected by that pretty steady vibration that I've got going.
Exactly.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yes, it's very good. It kind of started several years ago.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, the process. I mean, I've been to a few of these.
Doesn't matter. So here we are.
Yeah,
here we are, and now
yes.
What? Because if you look back even to the last whatever, you're diminishing the vibrational momentum that you've got going now. Why look back? Yes. Back is always weaker than now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So now I can feel some amazing things bubbling to the surface. Obviously, I have this momentum going, and the desires that I've thrown into the vortex over the years, I know that they're coming to fruition because of the feeling, the manifestations, and so forth. This groove, this momentum, this vibration. So I want to be more specific about how this energy is now bubbling up.
Well, the reason that feels good, once you're certain, and you seem to be, that you are steadily in alignment, then what happens is thoughts continue to occur to you that you can bring to more specifics, and that is satisfying. But it's not something that you need to do. It's something that you're allowing to happen. So, do you meditate?
Yes. Not in the traditional sense. Sometimes I do, but
well, the reason we ask is because when you've really quieted your mind and thoughts begin to flow to you, you can feel the momentum in those thoughts, and often some really specific things will occur to you. Now, you don't have to be in the state of meditation. You could just be really, really happy and something occur to you. But when you get that feeling of really wanting to do something, make some motion toward it right then and there, even if it's only writing it down so that you remember the feeling and what it was about, because the specifics are occurring to you all the time. In the past, we have encouraged you to get in a good feeling place and to sit and to sort of script what you want, sort of like you're writing a screenplay. And that's a very productive way of allowing your juices to flow more specifically. This is what we want to define with you. All of you can hear this. Will be helpful to everyone. Logically, what seems more beneficial to you, more productive, more beneficial, and more good feeling? More alignment or less alignment?
More alignment.
So within the alignment to source energy, or receiving mode of source, or the receiving mode of the spin-off of man's conscious thought, is still receiving in either case. Yes. So there is this station I'm choosing. Yes. And then there's attention to the thought, which increases momentum. Yes. Sort of follow? I can be tuned in and get that momentum going, and I can be really worried about something and get that momentum going. Momentum will happen no matter what station that I'm receiving from. You follow me? So, which is better? Connected to source or otherwise?
Source.
And momentum in either case, yes? Which is better? Momentum with source or momentum otherwise?
Source.
Now here's the hard question. Which is better? Momentum with not source or no momentum?
No momentum.
You're very wise. So the reason that we're asking you like this is because a lot of people, they're so used to being human and action oriented that they want to just get into it and start thinking about it. But if you're connected here rather than here, and you're writing about it, then you're adding momentum to your doubt and your worry and your fear. In other words, when you know what you don't want and you're trying to overcome it and you're offering effort about that, you're not improving your momentum here. You are locking in more in that lower momentum. Are you following? So what we're getting at, the only time that you want to strive for more specifics is when you know you're feeling good. So when you're feeling good, talk about it, dream about it, gather information about it, put things in your book of positive aspects about it. Get specific when you're feeling good. But when you're not feeling good, take a nap, go to the beach, do something to break the evil spell. So what are you asking?
I feel,
Because we can feel you trying too hard. And trying too hard is what people do when they're trying to overcome their own momentum that's going. So many people offer so much effort to compensate for what they are not doing with their energy.
well, my main thing is lately I've achieved my groove, if you will, based on just generalities, keeping things very general.
Because it is easier to be tuned into who you are when you're speaking in general terms than when you're speaking in specific terms, isn't it? Because the specific things haven't come about yet. And so
with that,
well, here's our question. Do you think that you have to do this when you get into your vehicle to drive somewhere? Do you have the urge to open the hood and get under there and work with the belts and the pistons and the engine and make the oil run?
definitely not.
So you know that there's an engine that's doing its work, and what do? You just decide where you want to go. So why is this different? Why is this different?
It's not, and I can sense that.
You try too hard. You try too hard from a feeling of inferiority or weakness or being behind or whatever. And so do you believe that you are a vibrational being?
Absolutely.
And do you believe that there is a vibrational version of what you want already accomplished by you and tended to by your inner being? And do you believe that your inner being is aware of all of that?
Yes.
And do you believe that you'll receive the impulse when you're in the right vibration?
Yes.
And do you believe that anything else is really a worthwhile endeavor?
No. And it's funny you said impulse, because that's,
You see, your parents made you do stuff you didn't want to do. And so you got used to doing stuff that you didn't really want to do. And now you think that that's how you get stuff done. You just do stuff that you don't really want to do. And then the dance judges will give you big scores.
I love you.
But what you really want to do is believe that life has caused you to create wonderful things and that your inner being knows what all of them are. And so if you'll just trust and chill just a little more and stay in that groove and know that you're in that groove and care about that groove, care about how you feel, and then follow impulses that come, we promise you that consistent alignment will bring more specifics, because the laws of the universe would not allow anything less than that. You see, more and more and more and more will occur to you until you will feel like this incredible multitasker where so much is happening simultaneously. You're just in the flow with all of it. And about then you'll stop trying to prove worthiness through your action. You'll stop trying to get any marks on the chart about anything. You'll come to realize that you've got all the marks on the chart that anyone could ever receive, that Source adores you and is with you and is eager about your witnessing of your own manifestation of your own things that you've put into your vortex. So now where are you?
I'm in love, basically.
They all got it. They all got it too.
Yeah, I love the way this has all come together, because I mean, you even talk about when we were kids, and I had another question about my daughter and how this sort of all dovetails together. Yeah, it's perfect in the unfolding, and I can feel my stance in the vortex when I'm keeping it general. One of the reasons why I'm here and I'm asking the question, feel free to pin me down. I'm certainly willing to do the work.
We think you found the sweet spot and now you're talking yourself out of it. Don't you?
Right.
For no good reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm rationalizing that.
Oh, stop it.
Have this. Yeah. Next.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
I went to an Abraham seminar and they didn't answer any questions. They just told us all to feel good, and no, I want my money back. We think this is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.
Hi. So I have a really big dream and I'm not really sure how to get there.
Well, you know, when you have a really big dream, you're putting a whole bunch of resistance in your path because it's so big, it's hard. So when you say to us, I've got this thing I want, but it's a piece of cake, it's just a matter of it unfolding, then it's unfolding more easily.
Right. So I'm in my own way.
Everybody does it. When you know what you want, but you're saying, when's it going to come, and where's it going to be, and who's going to help me, and how's it going to come about? When you hammer yourself with those questions that you don't have answers to, you just keep compounding the resistance. But when you think about what you want and why you want it, then it's an easier go. And so the other thing we want to ask you, do you believe that vibrationally speaking, it's already done and in the vortex? And so why do you need to work so hard at something that's already done?
Right.
And can you see how if you could just distract yourself from the thoughts you think that are hanging it up, that then it could sneak in the back door?
Yeah.
We're not kidding. You got the front door blocked with your belief. So if you'll just think about some other things, it'll sneak in the back door and you go, oh, what a nice surprise that is.
So what you're saying is just to redirect my thoughts on easier things that
Get off the subject that's got you hung up and focus upon the things that you already feel really good about.
What if I don't really feel good about anything? It sounds bad, but like my purpose or my passion, it's just really one
Well,
thing.
we think what you mean is, I have this really big thing that kind of occupies my thought, and I won't let anything else be important. But there are a lot of other things that are important. Did you see the day outside? Oh, it matters. It's so important. It's so beautiful, and there's so much potential for satisfaction out there. That air is so sweet. Oh, there's so much about just what's right outside this building that is important and so satisfying, that if you would just focus there for a little bit, you'd let your big thing move forward a little. And then there's the delicious food that you're going to eat tonight. Ooh, if you just let yourself savor it and enjoy it, then you see what we're getting at? There are so many things, but most people who come to us, they'll say, this is a good way for you to hear this. One day we were visiting with a woman in the hot seat, and she had some big problem that she wanted to focus on. And we wanted to talk to her about some other things that might shift her energy a little bit. So we brought up something else that she wanted. And she said, oh, I don't need to think about that. That's already done. I've already got that. And we said, well, what about that? Oh, I don't need to think about that. I've already got that. And what she was explaining is that the only things that felt important to her, the only things that she thought that she would give the label desire to, were the things that were not yet fulfilled. And we want you to understand, you've got lots of desires that you're right here in alignment with. The things you want that you're already receiving, focus on those. That's really a powerful thing for you to do. That's what the power of appreciation is. When you find something that's really working that you're already satisfied with, Esther's begun playing the game with herself recently, where she just sits in a moment. Now, sometimes she's on an airplane, sometimes she's in the gate at the airport, sometimes she's in a taxi. She's in a lot of different places that are not necessarily like her gardens at home. And she will ask herself, what's satisfying about this? And just by looking for things that are satisfying, even the pattern in the carpet, or the relationship between that lady and her dog, or there's so much that is satisfying right now, that as you focus upon it and let yourself be satisfied, then you take away all the barricades in that moment for all the things that are in the vortex that are on their way to manifestation. You see how it works? And what's tripping you up is that you have formerly believed that you have to apply hard work in order to deserve it. You don't yet quite believe that it's done and that you deserve it. You're not ready to let it in because you haven't paid a hard enough price. There are a lot of people that behave that way. They think that I haven't suffered enough, so it's not time yet. I'll suffer way more. And we say, the more you suffer, the more you hold it off. It's like me moving toward what I want and suffering, and it just keeps moving. It just keeps moving. I'm suffering, I'm suffering, I'm suffering, I'm suffering. I must be getting closer. Nope. But when you stop suffering, then you close the gap.
Right. It's good.
Really
It's
good.
True. Thank you.
Yeah. Enough?